Yes, it's a big pleasure to be here with all of you, and thanks to organizers for inviting us to share some updates from Singapore. I'm Binbin, and I'm an associate professor from SUTD and also the deputy director for this FCP program. In my talk, let me first spend the first 10 minutes to give you a quick overview about our program, and then I will share some of the latest collaboration we have with all the partners in the second half of my talk. I'm from SUTD, Singapore University of Technology and Design. It's a young and relatively small university, but we are quite active in telecommunication, system, security, these are research areas. And because of that, we have been chosen by Singapore government, in particular IMDA, is the regulator, also the architect for Singapore's digital economy in Singapore, to host this national program called FCP, Future Com R&D Program. Yeah, so you can see the program was set up in 2021. Actually, I guess I also can share some kind of status in Singapore's 5G deployment. I think around 2020, 2021, Singapore has the auction for the 5G spectrum. And originally, the plan is to kind of cover 99% above of Singapore by end of 2025. I'm happy to report that our telco actually worked very hard and they reached the target much earlier. So I think Singtel reached the target like 3 years before. And last year, we already have more than 99% of our country covered. And so our program is also set up around that time, focused on the R&D and to support Singapore in this important area because we view this as a backbone for the digital economy. So we are given this about $50 million US, and the first phase is 4 years. So there are two key missions that Singapore wants our program to help fulfill. The first is, of course, to build an open and vibrant ecosystem that can support Singapore's capability in the communication and connectivity space. And the second is really to for some resiliency and the national security consideration, because this again is a critical infrastructure. And our program have support different R&D projects by giving out funding. And another important part is really to build up the research infrastructure, the sandbox, the test bed, so that a lot of innovation can happen and can be showcased in our lab before roll out to the field. So Singapore is very small, so yeah, that's why we can achieve like a very fast rollout of 5G within like 2-3 years. But on the hand, we also view this as an advantage that we can really take Singapore as a living lab, so to try a lot of new things, and then we can introduce to our neighboring country and to other parts of the world. And of course, we also want to grow talent. So we actually have given our scholarships to have talents that specialize in these domains. So one update from last year, actually my colleague, Prof. Tony Quay, I think he was here in the same regional workshop to give some report from Singapore last year. And this year, happy to report that our first phase has successfully concluded. And we have received another 20 million Singapore dollar kind of to continue all these infrastructures and the collaboration activities. And we are planning for the next phase, which will be ready for the 6G from 2027 onwards. And you may notice we choose our name to be Future Com, so that when from 5G to 6G and maybe in the future 6G, 7G, we can continue to use the same name for our program. So Prof. Tony Quay is our director, and myself is deputy secretary taking care of the industry engagement. And Prof. Ji Hong, he actually is also here this morning. He gave a talk in the Vertical Summit. He's taking care of the research. Yes, this is our leadership team. And we have been building up this important research facility called FCC Lab, Future Communication and Connectivity Lab in our university. And we have been trying very hard to make it all-in-one stop to support R&D, to do test and certification, and also to help with system integration. So you can see a lot of activity happen in our center. So let me give you a little bit background about how we kind of plan and build up our facility. So we have a few keywords that I like to emphasize. The first one is open. Actually, around the time we set up this test bed, the timeline, Singapore's telco is already rolled out the 5G. So we know that we may not be able to use open RAN solutions for the consumer telco infrastructure, but nevertheless, we invest a lot on the open architecture because we think as an academia, this really allows us to do a lot of experiments. And based on open RAN, actually, we are able to, for example, develop AI capability that easily plug in to showcase a lot of novel innovations. Yeah, so some of the success stories with our open design. For example, we are one of the first to be able to integrate the NVIDIA Aerial 5G DUCU stack with multiple commercial or ORU vendors, and thanks to the open front-haul interfaces between these two components. And we have also recently successfully in completing integration between an O-RAN-based multi-vendor solution with StarHub. So StarHub is one of the major telcos in Singapore. So we overcome a lot of challenges, but we managed to do the integration of an O-RAN solution with the live 5G core and to show that it can support multiple high-demanding use cases. And we start this O-RAN architecture from a single vendor, actually QCT, as I mentioned in a later update. But from there, we should grow the ecosystem rapidly. This, I think, is a snapshot we took last year. This year, we actually grow with much larger diversity in terms of software and hardware, IO, DUCU. And this open and modular ecosystem, again, also allow researchers like us to instill some of our innovation, like, for example, AI-based RAN optimization into our testbed to show it works. And the second feature, like when we design the testbed, is really to make it AI native. Yeah, well, I mean, this everybody talking about AI, and we think this definitely is a trend to go. And with AI native architecture, we have been successfully in demonstrating some capability. For example, last year in the RIC Forum 2024, I think we are the only team from Asia to present AI-based RAP can mitigate network interference for some demanding applications. Again, because of open architecture, we are able to integrate this AI-based application with real commercial-grade RU and DUCU devices, so that the control made by the AI algorithm can really be implemented and show in real time that it actually helps with the network interference management. And also based on the lab setup, we are among the first AI RAN Alliance lab to support this important initiative. And yeah, these are some of the capability we have built up over the past 3-4 years. You can see, like, from the 5G core to the UE and a lot of use cases and a lot of testing equipments. We have this outdoor arena. Yeah, actually can support drone use cases. We cover it with 2 outdoor radio units. You may notice the net on top. That's, again, very unique because our campus, if you visit us, you will notice we are very, very close to Singapore's Changi Airport. So by right, this is a no-flight zone. But our colleague, very creative, they built this net. So then it turns it into a good drone arena. And yeah, we use this to demonstrate a lot of 5G use cases regarding drones. And yeah, this is an important initiative we made under the O-RAN Alliance. We set up the first OTIC, Open Testing and Integration Center, in Southeast Asia. And yeah, Alex Chua, he gave a talk yesterday as the AI RAN Alliance Chair. When we set up the OTIC, he was the O-RAN Alliance Chair. And he noticed our effort, tried really to give a vendor-neutral venue to do rigorous testing in multiple aspects, AI, sustainability, as well as cybersecurity. Yeah. So since we've set up this center, we have successfully hosted 4 O-RAN Plugfest, attracted more than 20 different vendors coming to test their latest innovations and do a lot of integration to show the capability. And yeah, actually, I saw a lot of familiar partners in this event. And based on that, our AI RAN Alliance lab will focus on developing new use cases. Because when we talk to the telcos, I think one of the key desire for them to use AI RAN is to really find a new way to monetize the old investments. So we are building some innovative AI based use cases to support their needs. And yeah, so this is a quick overview of what our lab has been doing. And the next 7 slides, I will try to give you a bit update about what we have demonstrated recently, again, together with our partners. Because we are very small, a small country, a small university, all this will not be possible without the collaboration. And I'm here actually to seek more collaboration so that we can make progress together. Yeah, so the first 2, 3 updates are about Open RAN. So in this particular example, we work with QCT. They actually is one of our first partner in this program. So we developed a digital twin enhanced energy saving demonstration. So this is very focused on the private 5G use cases. And in 5G private network deployment, the environment will be different, the traffic flow will be different, and it can be very specific sectors. And we find that actually if you can use a digital twin, and before you apply the kind of optimization into the real network, you can actually try that in the digital twin in near real time, and find out the best AI models and AI strategies before you apply the tool. So we show this together with the support from VRV to make sure that everything is tested in a rigorous manner. And yeah, we reported this in the MWC Barcelona this year. The second one is also related to the O-RAN. And actually, we work very closely with StarHub, the major telco in Singapore, trying to accelerate the deployment of O-RAN-based solution for 5G network in Singapore and in other countries. And one of the challenges actually is to really show that it can work, again, with a lot of legacy systems there. So again, you can see from the diagram that we managed to do a integration to their live 5G call and support both the drone application and the robotic application. The RAN, the radio access network, actually is in our campus, while we connected through secure connection to the StarHub's internal network. And this actually is shortlisted one of the best technological collaboration in SICC award. And again, neither StarHub or SUTD would be able to do this alone because this requires a lot of collaboration and I would say a lot of courage to make this happen. Yeah. So our next one update is about AI RAN. So this again is a demo we showed recently in MWC Barcelona. And actually this is a collaboration with a Neural RAN. This is one of our spin-off from SUTD. And with the Keysight and the Lighton. And this is featured as one of the AI RAN Alliance demo. And in this demo, actually, we incorporated multiple aspects about AI RAN. So we have AI and RAN. You can see some of the AI workload and the network RAN workload are kind of deployed side by side and they can share the resources. It's also about RAN, AI own RAN. So you can see that we're supporting innovative AI application using the RAN, the 5G infrastructure. And we are doing this dynamic splitting of the model between the devices and the edge and the cloud so that the best performance can be given to the end user while meeting some other requirements, for example, privacy preserving requirements. And it's also a little bit like AI for RAN because we are doing spectrum sensing, actually using, because we have the programmable infrastructure. So we can upgrade that to do spectrum sensing and to detect different types of interference. And we can actually change the way we split the model, AI models, according to the current situation of the network. Yeah. So the next one is also related to AI RAN. And this is actually a collaboration with Yonsei University in Korea. And the focus is on beamforming. And again, we got a very strong support from VRV to give us a 3D model, digital twin of the network. And we show some AI-based algorithm can really improve the beamforming performance and integrate, mitigate interference, and also achieve power saving. The next one is collaboration with StarHub again and AWS. Actually, it's one of the demos that's shortlisted by AWS to present in MWC Barcelona 2025. And we have this Synergy Design Tech. It's also a long-term collaborator of our FCP. And we use the architecture shown in this diagram. And the key thing is actually to help telco like StarHub to use the Gen AI to help make their operation more efficient. So we build up some different scenarios, so anomaly, some of the performance degradation, and we show that actually with Gen AI, we are able to provide a good support for the operators to deal with this problem more efficiently in an autonomous manner. And this actually have an important implication for O-RAN adoption as well, because I mean, when you deal with different O-RAN solutions and how to make sure that this can really be integrated smoothly is big challenges. So our Gen AI engine actually can ingest a lot of, for example, manual or logs from these when we run these O-RAN systems, and use that to help the operators manage them. My last two updates is about NTN. That's another important area that we try to build because 6G will be a network from everywhere, for everyone. So NTN will play an important part in this aspect. And for Singapore, we have a very important industry for maritime, for aviation. So all these are potential big users for NTN. And also for the national resiliency, we see that the NTN can potentially provide a backup channel if, for example, the undersea fiber is got cut. So these are some of the motivation that we invest on NTN research activities. And this is one of the big initiative we started, I think, almost 1 year, more than 1 year ago. And again, with partner from Japan, Sky Perfect JSAT, they are satellite operators. VRV, RNS, they provide the UE emulator and the Genobi emulator that's supporting NTN features. And TOMI Tech is our partner in the antenna. So we demonstrated this in World Expo in Osaka, in the Singapore pavilion there. So our UE site is at Singapore, so we stream video using the 5G NR NTN standard, Release 17, from Singapore to the geo satellite operated by Sky Perfect JSAT, and then sent to the ground station in Yokohama, Japan. And then we successfully demonstrated this can provide more than 20 BPS in the good condition. But we also learned a lot of very difficult issues. For example, the weather really affects a lot on the performance, and a lot of constraints in terms of the link budget, all these things we need to deal with. But we are quite lucky when we present this final demo in Osaka. The weather in both Singapore and in Osaka, in Japan, is quite good. So we actually do have a very smooth demonstration, very good video quality over geo satellite. Yeah, the last slide update is also about NTN. Here again, we collaborated with NICT, Japan. And the idea is really to do some coordination between the NTN and the TN network. The use case here is actually very interesting, so that we can use the collaboration between these two networks to save energy. Maybe not so much for Singapore, but for Japan, there are areas that, rural areas that have very low traffic demand or have varying traffic demand. So the observation is that if the traffic demand is really low, then maybe actually we can turn off all the TN network to save power, and we use the NTN network to provide the coverage. And once we detect some of traffic demand, then we can turn on the TN to meet the QoS requirements. Yeah, again, this is a cross-country collaboration, and it's possible because we have been leveraging collaborators and different industry partners to help us together. Yeah, so this wrap up my presentation, and yeah, I really coming here to hope to get more collaboration with you and to seek potential progress together in these exciting areas. Yeah, thank you.